So just looking ahead to the key events and themes this week, let's start off in the UK with the pound. In terms of notable data points, we do have retail sales data. To be honest, in my view, I can't see this being impressive at all. As we've seen in recent data, average earnings in the UK is still quite low and subdued, people not getting paid enough money, with rising inflation as well, outstripping people's wages and their affordability. I can't see retail sales being a good number this time round. And that should tie into, because where we saw quite a large amount of sterling strength across the board after the Bank of England and its members heavily hinting about an imminent hike in the coming months, well, certainly before the year end, as the text seems to indicate, we did see a large amount of sterling strength. And when one sees such a move higher, you'd expect a brief bit of a pullback or consolidation or retreat for the respective currency that strengthened that much. So don't be surprised if we do see a bit of a pound pullback across the board, so keep an eye on that this week. Elsewhere, in terms of the United States of America, with the US dollar, the greenback then, the FOMC will be taking centre stage. We do have the rate decision and their respective statement that will accompany that decision. No change expected in terms of rates this time round, but what I would say is what to look out for. Actually, first of all, in terms of data heading into this FOMC rate decision, not much has really changed really. It's still showing mixed picture for the economic conditions in the US. We've seen low producer prices in the US, so prices still subdued. Soft retail sales data. CPI, yes, did pick up, though still low. And non-farm payrolls reading last month wasn't great. It was quite soft. But that may be just because the labour market's reaching full capacity. Nevertheless, it is still not very stable or clear at the moment in terms of path of economic recovery for the US as such. But in terms of what to look out for, expecting for Yellen to finally announce a reduction of their balance sheet, so a pullback of their own stimulus. Looking for them to revise higher their growth forecast and also to see inflation picking up as well, though I think Yellen will sort of shrug off the fact that inflation is still low at the moment, but expecting for her to see that picking up. The main thing really that's going to dictate this direction for the dollar heading into this year end will of course be rates, interest rates. What are they going to do with that? To be honest, at the moment, given not much has changed since Jackson Hole as well, where Yellen didn't mention anything really on monetary policy, I can't see her hinting at a rate hike for this meeting anyway, this meeting. Now technically, if we're looking at the dollar index, for me, and I've noticed this over past couple of weeks or so, it does still look subject to a heavy fall. Now that could tie in, if the Yellen doesn't mention any hint of a hike to happen before the end of this year in December, where some are still hoping that they may do so, well, that could really hit the dollar hard, guys. But if there is hints, then expect the dollar to really recover across the board and see bulls coming back and giving the dollar some ground. Elsewhere, looking over in Asia then, in Japan, we do have the Bank of Japan's rate announcement. No change expected in terms of policy. As we know, over the years, the central bank have pumped in trillions of stimulus into the markets to try and pick up the deflation that they've been in the territory, and also to try and better the economic conditions, because the economy is still quite shaky at the moment. People not wanting to spend, consumers not getting paid enough money as well in Japan, wages being low and an issue. In terms of this time round, not expecting much change, but there was some talk in a few newswires reports suggesting that the Bank of Japan could raise their bond yield target. So as we know, they were targeting that as part of an extra measure to try and promote some stimulus in the markets. So they, in terms of short-term interest rates, they had that targeted around minus 0.1%, and 10-year government bonds, or 10-year yields rather, at around 0%. So there are expectations or chatter for them to lift that slightly, just given the improvement in economic picture we've seen in Japan. Now, if they do that, we could see quite a large amount of yen strength on the back of that, the fact that they're slowly moving away from ultra easy, even though they are still ultra easy in terms of their approach. But that could be a step in the right direction. We could see some yen strength surfacing on that. Elsewhere, we do have New Zealand. The general elections are due to take place on Saturday, the 24th. So that's the 24th of September. At the moment, we've seen a few polls. Now, they're calling this to be the closest election for a very long time for the country between the ruling National Party and also Labour Party. Labour actually seen as a negative for New Zealand dollar. We have been seeing a bit of a pullback for Kiwi on the back of the Labour leading the polls. Only because, not necessarily that they're bad for the economy, but it's just markets don't like unsettled times and change. Now that, if the Labour do gain control, then that is a bit of a worrying time because markets are not sure where they're going to drive the economy. So we have seen a bit of a pullback. So in a nutshell, ruling National Party are positive for New Zealand dollar in the short term, and the Labour market win would be a Kiwi negative. So just keep that in mind heading into the next weekend on Saturday. There are many other key data points to be aware of on the calendars this week, guys. Not enough time to squeeze them all into the video, but keep an eye on the Instagram page, Dukascopy FX Market Freak. There will be posts of short text previews for each notable data points you should be aware of. Other than that, that's it from me. I hope you have a smashing trading week, and thank you.